Okay, great. So I'm so happy to have all of you guys here today. We are going to be clearing a bunch of things that are in the way of you creating all the dreams, desires, goals, intentions that you've expressed here today. And I'm going to be helping you to find what's in the way of you actually realizing these things. So I have been known more as a money energy expert, and that's all well and good, and we can still do those things. In fact, that's the gift. But today I want to focus on some of these other things. And you may be surprised to know that, first of all, the first thing that I'm noticing, and I double check because I'm like, are you sure? And so no one here is grounded. And so that might be surprising. If that's surprising to you, like you're someone who says, well, I meditate every day, and like that can't be true. Well, one thing that happens with a lot of people who meditate is they use it as an opportunity to leave their bodies. Right now, there's a lot of fear on the planet. Fear is a very contracting energy, and that can make us lose our grounding cord. We contract, we pull our grounding cord up as well. And without a grounding cord, there's nowhere for all the energy that's stirring around, there's nowhere for it to go. So that's numero uno, the first thing that we're going to do. And I want you to pay attention to how you're feeling before. Like, notice if you feel a little anxious. Without a grounding cord, there's a lot of anxiety that goes on in the body. And it will kick you out of your body so that most of you are only occupying your body about 15%, 1-5. So when you're not fully present, it's hard to hear all the messages, all the inspiration that's trying to come in. It's hard for you to get clarity. That was one thing that was mentioned today. So that's one thing that I want you to pay attention to. Another thing that I've noticed and that we're going to be releasing today is fear. So fear is that kind of stop energy. And so sometimes when you think of fear, you think of, like biting your nails kind of fear. But there's a million faces to fear and a bunch of different degrees of fear. And so fear can show up as just being tired, unmotivated, not clear. There's lots of ways that fear can show up. So after this clearing today, notice if you have more clarity, if you have more inspiration, if you can kind of hear the directions you're supposed to go even that much better. So I'm going to walk you through a process. It's called running your energy. And I believe there is also in this link an 8-minute, a 20-minute version of this, and then an 8-minute version for those of you who are, a lot of healers here will get this stuff pretty quickly. But the main thing is to pay attention to what's going on in your body, because I have heard some people say, well, I do your meditation every day. How could I not have a grounding cord? Well, you're just going through the motions and you're not really paying attention to what's going on in the body. So after today, that will be a lot easier. And let's get started. All right. So first of all, and you can do this with your eyes open or your eyes closed, whichever, if you like to see what I'm doing, some light language might come up, or, I use my hands a lot. So whatever you feel comfortable with. But first, we're going to establish a grounding cord. So this is going to help a lot of you. So use your free imagination to imagine like a big pipe going from the base of your spine, and it's going to descend like an elevator all the way down, deep into our earth, all the way to the center of our planet. And there's no effort in this. It acts just like gravity. As you breathe and release, make it big and fat, like you could drop a cantaloupe down this, maybe even a watermelon if you have a lot of energies to release. And we're just going to keep breathing and releasing. Okay, good. So now we have a good grounding cord. Next, I want you to send roots down from the bottoms of your feet deep into our Mother Earth, hundreds of miles. It's going to intermingle with this intelligent communication layer of the root system the mycelium, the fungus, all of that energy converts decay into usable rebirthing of energies. And we're also connecting to the minerals like iron, very powerful, strong energy. And then the crystalline grid also in the Earth's crust. So those roots are going to wrap around the entire planet. And we're going to start bringing that feminine, abundant earth energy up through our feet. So for most of you, this energy is blocked. So just keep spinning those wheels of those little micro chakras in our feet, or minor chakras. And we're just going to activate our human technology and our infinite intelligence as we make these chakras brighter and brighter. And there now the energy is starting to come up through the feet and the ankles so you can have more fun. Up through the calves, clearing that unused adrenaline, through the knees, up through the thigh. And this is going to help you access more of your personal power. And then as it gets to the top of your legs, it's going to go down that grounding cord. So you have 2 loops of energy going up your legs and down your grounding. The third part to getting ultra grounded is we're going to see if you have a worry circle that radiates around your root chakra. Right now, it's congested out to the 3rd layer. So just imagine or pretend that you know where that is. I'm only reminding you of all the things you already know. So we're going to start pulling in this worry circle that holds all of your worry, stress, anxiety, doubts, fears, uncertainty. We're just going to drop it all down the grounding cord. There's a massively high frequency in the center of the earth that can easily accommodate transmuting all of these energies. Okay, great. So now we have no worry circle as it should be. Next, hearts are open 100%, but not grounded, maybe just barely starting to get grounded. And so this is super important because this is where you connect with all of your passion, the passion that you're going to be putting into these books, the passion that you bring forward with the people that you work with. So in order to ground the heart, we're actually going to go to our crown chakra. And that's not always the case, but it is the case here today. So we're going to go to our crown chakra. Out to that 3rd layer, there's like a big circle, like there was at our root, around our root chakra. I call it the permission circle. So right now, there's a lot of interference in this circle that's not allowing you to be sovereign. So use your human technology to amplify this circle, making it brighter and brighter, vibrating faster and faster. And this is going to transmute the interference that's not allowing you to be completely sovereign, being the boss of you. Okay, so heart's still not grounded. We're going to go to the 6th chakra, out to that 3rd layer. So these are beliefs that keep you thinking that you're powerless. There's a lot of energies on the planet, whether you believe it or not, that are influencing our thoughts and our actions. About 90% of what you think and feel is not yours. And so what we're clearing now are some of those influences of those thoughts that are not yours. And goes all the way out to the 25th layer right now. So that was when earlier I was talking about some of the fears we're going to be releasing. That's a lot of it right here. All the fears that you entertain, that you think over and over. Fears of the future, fears of how am I going to figure this out? Just fears of there's so much going on the planet right now. So we're going to just keep amplifying our pineal gland, the sixth chakra, making it brighter and brighter. And a lot of us are trying to think our way through our problems. How am I going to figure this out? So spend a lot of time up in our heads and feeling blocked. And so as we're clearing this, Kuya a na ye tia mapuku ye a ma ye a kaya nata umu kua ye na ye tia mapapa ye kumu ye. So as we're clearing these energies, we're going to start having a little more clarity. And so it's interesting that we're clearing these energies so our hearts can get grounded. Okay, now our heart is grounded. So just notice how you might be already starting to feel a little different. The final part to getting ultra grounded, so there's 5 parts in my system on how to get ultra grounded, is we're going to go to our ovaries. We're going to draw a letter Y from both ovaries, and it's going to merge with our grounding cord. These act like little sponges, absorbing a lot of energy. This is how a lot of women heal with their ovaries, and they collect a lot of energy. And if they're not releasing it, it can cause a lot of female issues. So just keep breathing and releasing, sending all of that energy down the grounding. Excellent. Okay, so now we're ultra grounded. Notice if you feel any calmer. Okay, so next, we are going to bring our attention above our heads, and we're going to connect with pure source energy. And so one thing I want to explain before we bring this energy in is there are, in our energetic anatomy, there are rings that are stacked above our heads. I call these your creative rings. All the intentions that you talked about earlier, you're going to place in these rings. So they look like big gold wedding bands that are stacked on top of each other, hovering with space in between. Before, the minimum used to be 3 rings. That's what I was trained for years and years and years. And then it started to elevate. The more I expanded and grew, the more my rings grew. It grew to 100 rings before breaking through to infinity. So this is why we call this the infinity system. I broke through the Hawkins scale, Dr. David Hawkins. I broke through his scale in 2012. His scale only went to 1,000. So now we have access to unlimited possibilities that are now measurable. So most of you have an infinite number of rings. You're great master creators. The more rings we have, the faster we create, the more intensely, and the bigger. Some of you only have 2 to 3 rings, which means you have a compressive outer influence that's interfering with your sovereignty. And when we only have a few rings, then our creations are going to feel stuck. We can't quite, it's like that glass ceiling. I can't quite get above this threshold that I'm trying to move through. So we're going to, even if you don't know how many rings you have, I want you to imagine the top ring getting brighter and brighter, vibrating faster and faster, using your human technology, your imagination. And that's going to start transmuting the interference that's at these rings that's preventing you from connecting with pure source and really bringing that energy in to bless and align and clear all of your intentions. Okay, great. So pure source is starting to come in through the rings now. And as it's coming down through these creative rings, it's going to recalibrate all of your dreams and desires in your highest and best interests. So it's coming down, and about third to halfway down through these rings, there's more interference. So just keep illuminating those rings. Good. There we go. So coming down all the way down into your crown chakra now, where it's stopping. So up to this third layer, this is where we don't feel like we really have stepped into our power, the sovereignty of our power. So we're going to illuminate our permission circle, make it brighter and brighter, vibrating faster and faster, transmuting this interference. Kiama pia na tupuye, akaye nanta amakaye amapuye. Okay, good. So as we're coming down through the crown now into that sixth chakra, we're going to let pure source stir in that sixth chakra. This is where there's a lot more of these fears, those beliefs, the thoughts that we entertain over and over. Anything that feels scary, it's not your energy. We're just transmuting these thoughts, these beliefs that go round and round and round. And if you're someone who watches the news, that is a massively contributing factor to fear on the planet. It's designed that way. Okay, good. So as we're coming down, okay, there's still some energy here. So these are what I would call control beings. They're used by this compressive outer influence that's controlling the planet. And so same thing, we're just going to keep illuminating our sixth chakra, but now with a more specific intention of clearing these control beings. There's about 50 of these. And that's going to make it really hard for you to see clearly. You might be in a lot of confusion, uncertainty, doubts. Okay, and entertaining a lot of thoughts that are not yours. Okay, so just keep stirring that sixth chakra in there. And one of the fears that you're releasing is this fear of not being enough. And that's one of those fears that keeps you in the hamster wheel, because then you start trying to prove something that's already true. You already are enough, and you already are lovable. You already are worthy and deserving. Okay, good. So, okay, good. Now we're coming down through that sixth chakra, down into the throat, where it's stopping again. So this is where your message gets stuck, all those words that need to be birthed. Okay, great. So there's about 50 lifetimes that we are clearing here now. It's the most common place we can get killed. And you've all been great healers, medicine women, alchemists, wizards, witches, and killed for it many, many times. So we're clearing some of these residual energies that of those messages that are still stuck in our throat. When we were killed, they wanted to impress on us this idea that you will never speak these things again. And we're going to kill you to make sure that you know what we're talking about. And so a lot of this is still imprinted at the throat. So just keep allowing pure source to stir in that throat chakra, clearing those fears of bringing our voice forward. As we bump up against those past lives, it brings in that stop energy. Okay, good. So now pure source is coming down through the throat. Let's bring it down into the heart, where it is stopping again. So let this energy stir in here, clearing all of the ways that we judge ourselves. We're hard on ourselves. We're cracking the whip, making it seem like we're not doing enough. We're not working hard enough. So we're just going to drop all of these judgments, all of this pressure that is not ours. And it really can make us feel bad. And that's not a fun way to operate. So we're just clearing all of this. And this is where we self-generate love. So as we clear all the garbage out, there's more room and there's more ease in being able to illuminate our personal self-generated love in our heart chakra. And this is also where we access our infinite intelligence. Yes, many of you are also here from the future, bringing future technologies at this time, which is why you might feel impelled to bring your message forward. You know that it's important messages people need to hear now. Okay, great. So as we're coming down through the heart, let's go into that solar plexus where it's stopping again. We're going to clear all the effort, pushing, chasing, forcing, all the fear. And then there's also a lot of rage in here. Some of you have been using this rage as your fuel source. It's how you motivate yourself. You crack the whip, you try to get yourself going through this anger and rage. So just know it's not your energy. And the more rage we clear out of our solar plexus, the more access we're going to have to our personal power. This balance of masculine and feminine energies in the solar plexus, so that masculine energy can go out and get things done, but the feminine energy pulls things to you easily and effortlessly. So those two work together. That takes a lot of that effort out of getting things done. Okay, great. So now we're coming down through the solar plexus into the second chakra. Amazingly clear. Let's let that spill down the grounding cord. Excellent. So let's take a deep breath as we anchor this powerful alignment connected way up high to pure source, rooted deeply into our Mother Earth. Now we're going to bring these two energies together. We're going to merge that earth energy coming up through our legs, pure source coming down the backside. It's going to mix in our root chakra. We're going to start bringing it up the front. So it's getting stuck on some fear. So some of you have lost your grounding cord. Let's put that back down again. This might feel like a much more comfortable way to operate without a grounding cord. As you contract, but then everything accumulates, everything backs up like a house without plumbing. So if you start to feel anxious, put your grounding cord back down again. Okay, good. Let's bring that 50-50 mixture up the front through the second into that third chakra. Let's clear more of the effort out of there, more of that hard. Like if you have this concept that things are hard, it's so hard to write, it's so hard to get something done, it's so hard to know what to do next. We're just going to clear all of that hard, pushing, forcing energy here. So you could be in ease and flow. Okay, great. So as we're coming up through the solar plexus into the heart, we're going to go out to second layer where there's more fear. Maybe that fear of connecting your message to your passion. Fear of being seen. Okay, that's a good one. Fear of being heard. Another good one. Okay, great. Just keep amplifying that self-love, forgiving yourself for all the coulda, woulda, shouldas. It's all happening in perfect timing. Okay, so as we're coming up through our heart, throat, 6 crown rings, maybe you have more rings now. And then it's going to cascade down through all the layers of our aura, like paint being poured over a balloon. And let's focus on the third layer. Just pretend you know that where that is. And starting up around our 6th chakra, from there down, where it's more of that, how am I going to figure it out? All that kind of forcing energy, pushing it so that there's no ease and flow. Okay, good. Just let all that effort just drain out of this third layer. And when it gets below your body, it just merges with the grounding cord. That way the aura has a place to release to. We're also going to clear the fifth layer. So this is not usually a layer that gets cleared, but in a writing retreat, of course, that makes sense. The fifth layer is connected to the fifth chakra, where we have our voice. And that is also congested, starting at the very top. All of your words are just stuck. Let's just let that drain like paint being poured over a balloon. Okay, great. Then we're going to jump out to the 15th layer. We're going to start at the bottom this time. And we're going to lift this energy up and out. This is some of that influence that tends to push our creativity down, the energies on the planet that are suppressing humanity. Just going to lift that up and out. 15th layer, call it that 1% energy. And then we're going to go all the way out to the 100th layer. Just pretend you know where that is. We're also going to start at the bottom. So this is where that negative part of artificial intelligence hangs out. All AI is not bad, but there is an influence that's been around actually for billions of years that is amplifying their energies, trying to control humanity. And this is where they hang out, in this 100th layer. So we're just lifting that influence up and out. Okay, so now our aura is clear. So the last part that we're going to do is we're going to come back to our heart chakra, amplifying that self-generated love, all of that wisdom that you want to bring out into the world. So it's going to start coming up to our right shoulder and out our right arm as we give of our love and our wisdom and our energies out into the world. And then we're going to put our fingers together, our fingertips together, like we're holding a small ball. And that way the energy can pass through our palms of our hand chakras and through all of the fingertips. So our creative energy can flow, and our love and our self-generated everything comes through our hand and our fingertips. So now it's coming into your left receiving hand, the feminine side. And this side is blocked. So if you're not receiving money or love or support or whatever it is you need, it has nothing to do with other people. It has to do with you allowing yourself to receive and allowing that energy to come into that left receiving hand. And there are some blocks here. More of those control beings. So just allow that hand chakra to spin, to illuminate, so that you can bring your self-generated love and all this creative energy into that left receiving hand. Okay, keep going. It's blocked at the wrist as well. Yeah, so when we're allowing ourselves to receive, it takes a certain amount of trust and surrender and allowing, where we stop controlling and we allow pure source to flow through us. We are vessels for all of the messages that you're bringing out into the world, and it will just flow through us when everything is flowing. So that's the circle, out the right arm, in the left as it's passing through the heart, circle of reciprocity. And then it simultaneously passes through the throat, where you can ask for what you need. And then it simultaneously passes through that sixth chakra, right in the middle of your forehead, so you can see how you want to give and receive out into the world. You can see all the people who are going to be influenced by your message. You can see them benefiting from all the work you do. And then it's simultaneously passing through our crown chakra, where we give ourselves permission to have, be, and do with everything that we choose in our life. And then it's also going to pass through all of these creative rings, so that this is also where we access our Akashic records. All the information we need from the past, from the future, is always available through those rings. See if you have anyone hoarding to you, which would siphon energy off. Yes, and the first place that I'm noticing people are hoarding is right at your sixth chakra. So that's going to also create more confusion for you. If you don't have the exact same thoughts or aligned thoughts that they have, it's not going to match up. It's not going to align, and it's just going to create confusion. So we don't cut cords. We just send the energy back gently to whoever it belongs to. You don't even need to know who it is. And cutting leaves residual energy. So that's why we don't cut. And then there's also some cords in the heart chakra. So this is where people, these are all people cords, where they might be making you feel guilty about something. And then they pull on these cords, and then you feel bad about something, and then you feel impelled to do something to alleviate that bad feeling. That's not a good way to operate with people. So just send that cord back to whoever it belongs to. And then at your solar plexus, there's people who want to slow you down. Maybe you're moving too fast. Maybe they're afraid you're going to pass them up. Gently pull that energy out and send it back to whoever it belongs to. If you've been feeling tired, that will be another reason why. Okay, so all the cords are out. Let's see if there's any spells. There's about 5 at the root chakra. So just illuminate your root chakra. I'll give you one example of a spell. I used to listen to or watch this word game. I would do it at night before I went to sleep, thinking it was a way to kind of calm my mind down. But I always felt like I had to do one more and one more and one more of these games. And before I knew it, it had eaten into my sleep time. But it was the spell is what made me feel compelled to keep doing it again and again and again. So any energy that makes you feel compelled to do something is likely a spell. So I finally deleted the app, and I had had it for years, but I didn't like the fact that I finally found the spell and what it was doing. So I read books now before I go to bed. Let's also see if there's any curses. There's also about 5 in your root chakra out to that 3rd layer. Let's illuminate that root chakra. So this curse, which is put there by these outer influences trying to slow us down, would make it very challenging for us to step into our power. So these influences that are losing, they still want people to think that they're in charge, they're in control. And this is one of the ways that they will do that, making you afraid to really step into your power. Okay, great. So that's the basic process of running your energy, with a few other things in there that we checked at the end. Because fear was a big energy I checked at the beginning, I do want to check that again. We are going to go through one more little process, though, because I think we still have about 15 minutes. Is that correct, Jessica? Okay, perfect. Okay, but I wanted to measure fear to see how much fear is still in your field. It's still about 15%. Now, you wouldn't notice 15%, but that little bit is where it starts to grow from. And then you don't even notice that fear has kicked you out of your body again, and then you're not present. So we're going to eliminate all the fear. And where this particular fear is right in your sixth chakra. So that's more of the thoughts and beliefs that are not yours that are making you feel fearful. So let's illuminate the sixth chakra, making it brighter and brighter, using our human technology, which will have a much higher frequency than this energy of fear that we're trying to eliminate. Okay, good. 7, 6, 5. We're also going to go down to the root chakra. Same thing, out to the third layer. Illuminate your root chakra. Make sure you're nice and grounded so that energy has a place to go. Just sending all that fear down the grounding as you illuminate your root chakra. Tiama piena kukuye ia tanaye ki akaya. Okay. Okay, good. So now fear is at 0. Terror also at 15%. So these are different degrees and they're different frequencies. So you could have little bits of terror. So just think, if the people that are ruling the planet, if they implant just little bits of this in all of humanity, that's their battery pack. These are the frequencies that they feed on. So let's remove the terror, which is at the root chakra, out to that third layer. We're just going to send all of that terror down the grounding cord. So this is a frequency, and it's a frequency that makes us very uncertain about the future, about where we're heading this year. A lot of uncertainty this year. Got the elections coming up. And so for those of you who are, still looking for a savior, that might, the elections are something that stirs up a lot of energy. All right, so terror, 0. Let's check the energies of anger, 0. Rage, 15%. Going to go back down to your root chakra, out to that third layer. And we're just going to illuminate that root chakra, and we're just going to send all of this rage down the grounding cord so that you can start tapping into your personal power instead of using anger as your fuel source. Anger is really hard on the nervous system. It has its place. There's nothing wrong with anger and all of these energies. It's just that we want to use the right energy for the right reasons. Anger, rage, 0. And then fury, also at 15%. We're going to go up to the sixth chakra. So see, these are some of the beliefs, maybe some of the things we know are going on in the planet or we see, and it makes us furious. Let's release all of these energies, because this is the opposite of what you're trying to create, the opposite frequencies. We just illuminate that sixth chakra, clearing these lower vibrating energies. Okay, great. So fury is at 0. So the last thing that I want to do, we'll just run through this really quickly. We're going to create an avatar, and I suggest that you use this avatar throughout your writing process so that you can keep things flowing. So an avatar is the image of a person. I like to use an anatomy person because it's very general and basic. This image is going to represent your book or your project or whatever it is you're trying to create. And so in the ring, so this avatar is going to have the same energy field that we just ran through, but we're going to do it much quicker now. So in the rings, you're going to put your intentions for your book, the kinds of people that you want to reach, maybe how many books you'd like to sell, or the kind of projects that are going to come from having a book. So all of your intentions are going to go in the rings. So first of all, your avatar for your writing your book or project or whatever it is has no grounding cord. So let's ground it so it can feel stable and feel like it's going to go somewhere. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to send roots down from the feet. There we go. And we're going to bring that earth energy up through the legs. Yes. Okay, good. That's great. Let's see if there's a worry circle. There is, out to the third layer. Where there's some fury in this energy. So we're just going to pull that circle in of the avatar. And we're going to just drop all that fury down the grounding cord. That fury is not the energy you want to put in your book. Just saying. Okay, great. So now there's no worry circle. Let's see if the heart of your book is grounded. It's open, but it's not grounded. In this case, we're going to go down to the root chakra, out to the third layer, and we're going to drop all that fear that's sitting there, that fear of actually birthing your book, of people actually hearing, seeing your message. We're going to drop all that fear down the grounding so that your heart of your message can get grounded. Okay, good. Now the heart is grounded. So now, even if you don't know how many rings your project has, pure source is blocked at the top ring. So just start illuminating that top ring, making it brighter and brighter. And then when that top ring is matching the frequency of pure source, when they start vibrating at the same frequency, pure source is just going to start coming down into those rings. Okay, great. There we go. So now it's coming down into the crown. 6, 5, 4. Excellent. At the heart of your book project avatar, let pure source stir at the heart. All the judgments, all the coulda, woulda, shouldas. I should have done this years ago. I should be done by now. I should. So no more shoulds. And just know that everything is perfect, perfect timing. It will happen when it's meant to. And so also knowing that your book is an extension of how you're evolving. This is one of the projects that you've chosen to evolve through. And so if you realize that that's part of the reason for having a book is to help you grow and evolve, then it becomes a different project. It becomes way more interesting. Okay, good. So as pure source is coming down through the crown, 6, 5, 4. Yes, we're stirring at the heart. There are some control beings here, about 5. So let the heart of this avatar get brighter and brighter, vibrating faster and faster as we clear and transmute these beings that don't want you to bring your message and connect your passion to what you're birthing. Excellent. 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay, great. So pure source is coming down into the solar plexus. Let's let it stir here and clear the effort out of this writing this book. So it doesn't have to be so hard. And when messages are ready to come through, you sit down and there it goes. It's getting done easily and effortlessly. My first book was actually was very effortless. I was in Peru and I decided to do a 3-month program. Every week of that program, 6-week program, became a chapter of my book. It became very effortless. So when you start, your energy is flowing easily and effortlessly, things just start to happen much more magically. Okay, so we're coming down through the solar plexus, spilling down the root. Great. Let's bring that 50-50 mixture, the earth energy, pure source, bring it up the front. So right at that second chakra, there's more fear. Just let that transmute all the fears. Okay, good. Through the third, heart, throat, 6th chakra. Let it stir at that 6th chakra. More of those limiting and lack mindsets. Okay, good. Coming up through the crown, Let that cascade down through all the rings of this book project avatar. Actually, the aura is nice and clear. So now let's bring our attention to the heart of this avatar as you bring all that knowledge, information out the right arm, all your passion connected with all those words. And then bringing it into that left hand as you join your fingertips together, allowing that to flow into your left receiving hand as you receive book sales and money and clients from having written this book. There we go, up through the shoulder. So it's going through the heart, simultaneously through the throat, through that sixth chakra, through the crown, through all of your rings. Let's make sure nobody's cording to your book project. I'm finding 3 cords at the root. Let's pull those out. You want your book to be stable, and so anybody cording to the root is not gonna, it's gonna disrupt the stability of this. Okay, great. 0. Let's see if there's any spells. Yes, there are 50 spells. Let's clear that. At the crown, all these influences that don't want you to write your book and bring your message, just illuminate your permission circle, make it brighter and brighter, transmuting all of these spells that we need to maybe do it a certain way, or it has to be a certain thing, or anything that feels us compelled, but it doesn't quite feel aligned. Kuia mai tia na ka ai e ana puku e ima pa a ano yo ku oye. Okay, there's 3 left at the root chakra, out to that 3rd layer. We're just going to clear all of that by illuminating that root chakra. Send those spells down the grounding cord. Okay, and then last curses. There's about 5 also at the crown. Let's illuminate that crown chakra. All right, yay. Okay, that's it. That's the process. So I would review this whenever you feel like you're getting maybe a little stuck. I like to encourage people to do that 8-minute or 20-minute meditation every day, just to kind of keep things flowing. But of course, this meditation was a little more specific to writing, so it'll help clear more of those blocks. And I'm curious how you guys are feeling now. Any input?
Well, Kimberly, I always viscerally feel your energy clearing. So I'm, feeling even just more fluid in my body. So thank you. I just heard someone else unmute, so I'll go ahead and mute and let her speak.
Okay.
I was gonna say yes. I always love it. I always can feel it. I get little like twitches of like, oh, and then something releases. So great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Amanda. Yeah, great. Yeah, you probably notice how much more present you feel because you're back in your body 100% now and you're grounded. So if you feel anything less than this, no, it's not your energy and needs to be removed ASAP. Exit stage left. Yeah. So now working as a longevity mentor, I'm preparing for my 70th next year. And so yeah, my next book will be all about that, how to apply this process to our longevity. Yeah. You're muted, honey.
Blessings, Kimberly, as you step into your 70th turn around the sun. And what an honor to have you here today. I've done energy clearings with you before, but this one was longer. And I'm just like, ooh, we're getting the VIP treatment here today. This is good. I'm loving all of the joy coming in through the chat. So that's just wonderful to see. Kimberly, do you have any, will include this recording in the Wisdom Vault that is for
Great.
women who are members, along with any links that you want me to share so we can follow up on that. Any closing words for the women here?
No, I just posted that link again in case somebody missed it earlier. That's got all my stuff in it, the things we're going to be doing. Starting the first, I do a 12-day meta clearing practice. So it's what we're doing here, what we just did here. We do it every day for 20 minutes for 12 days. And, you know, we've been in the energy of winter, kind of building a foundation. I say we've been using that beginning new year energy to build a foundation for what we want to launch in spring. So that's what the energy of this next 12-day meta clearing is going to be about, is launching, coming out, birthing something. Maybe it's too soon for your book, but maybe it's time for your, you know, your next step. So anyway, that's what's happening. And those are all in the link.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kimberly. We bless you and thank you. Susan, I just saw that you unmuted. If there's a
Just a thank you. That's beautiful.
Great.
Beautiful. Wonderful.
Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you all enjoyed it.
Immensely.